Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a little bit of a more serious message. I apologize for my brief leave of absence. My unexpected leave that I took earlier this week disappeared for a few days. I promise to be back and posting more very, very soon. My friend unfortunately passed away and I have not been taking it particularly well. So today is the first day that I really feel inspired to open up and speak about it and come to you from this place of vulnerability about all of my mixed emotions, and also this place that we can all hopefully heal together and acknowledge that, like, you know, there's a few things that are going through my mind. The first is that, you know, no matter what healing I promise to do, no matter how much of my own advice I can take, no matter how much of practicing to be my higher self I do, there are still inevitably going to be moments of serious anguish in our earthly time here. And so I was pulled today to speak a little bit about what I've been going through, because I know that if I'm going through this, someone else will definitely, absolutely, definitely take solace in what I have to say, and that I'm with you right now, and that we're here together, and there's so much emotion, and I'm gonna unravel a little bit of everything to you. So the first thing that I want to say, as I was saying, was that it's been very difficult to come from a place of being untriggered, and it's really difficult to channel and really see things from a higher perspective when triggered, because, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. So I lost my friend recently, and his death was in fact very, very tragic and unexpected, and a pretty sad, gruesome way to die, and made me very, very upset for a few reasons. Number one, he's not even the first friend I've lost in that kind of similar method. Have a sage. Have a little breathe in. Whew, breathe out moment. Take a little sage real quick as we all sit here together and we pray. I prayed for you already, so we're covered, but we're, you know, having these conversations together as we support each other. It's so important. Because I'm with you in this moment. You know, it could be years from now, you could be seeing this message, and just know that in the fact that there is no timeline, we're both alive and dead at the same time. You are watching this and I'm going through it with you at the same time that you are watching this, because I am here in this moment and you are there, and we are both breathing together and feeling in this moment. So it doesn't matter where I'm at or what's going on in our lives. In this moment, we are here together. We parallel, we align. And that's a perfect example of how time is fluid. It is unstructured, because the me that might be walking around right now is not the me that I'm going to be at this very exact moment. And how amazing is it that you were brought to me in this exact moment, that we could feel this emotion and depth together, and that we could talk about it. So losing him that way and finding out about it, getting that call, this is now the third very close friend that I've lost. If you know my channel at all, you know that you've heard me speak previously about the other friends that I've lost, and I've named them, and their names are Kat and Taylor. And Kat is a very, very strong spirit guide of mine. She's been with me for many years. She passed away when I was like 19 or 20. And she was a very, very close friend, as was Taylor. And Taylor they have different signs for me. Kat appears to me as cat images and like bunnies. And Taylor appears to me in cardinals, which is so interesting. Birds, a lot of bird imagery, which has been so lovely. But for my new friend, for my friend who has passed over, I was having a really, really hard time looking at it objectively, because, you know, I also know what I know from the heaven books that I've read about how, you know, when the life transfers into the soul resting place, when you're taken from this 3D world into the 4D, into the 5D, where the souls are all, you know, coagulated together, because Earth is just a planet where there's a collection of souls elsewhere. That's sort of the agreement that all religions and psychics have come to, that there is an other place where the souls rest, and then there is Earth, and they are not exactly the same plane. Now, when you wake up from this reality, as if you're in Inception and are back in the soul world, when you have such an aggressive death, people can find it very, very upsetting They can find it strange. They can have, you know, bad, volatile reactions to it. And everyone in the soul world tries to calm them down, or their past over ancestors kind of attempt to intercept them and speak to them in these moments. So in these first few days following a friend of mine's death, the energy is so scattered. It is so upset. It is so run up. It is so like, because this kind of death is so unexpected, and you think to yourself that this person had their whole life ahead of them to live. And of course, every situation is different. You're watching this for someone that you've recently lost, but we can all agree that all of these somehow end up so much more tragic than we ever could have anticipated. But they have these times when they pass over to the other side, they're given a chance to watch over, to come back, to see everyone, to watch them attend the funeral, to be given their last rites and hear what people have to say to them, and how they love them and how they wish them well before they transfer back into the greater collection of souls and they get rid of this iteration of humanity, this reincarnation. Because they understand that everything had to happen this way. Now, it can feel so trite and so crass when I say something like that. I was not in the place to be hearing that yesterday. I was very, very triggered and upset. I was angry. I was sad. I felt a little betrayed by the way this happened, especially from a friend who is so full of life and had so much ahead of him and was so beloved by the community. So I was not taking this information well. And to make matters worse, I was watching pick-a-card readings, and some of them were like, this was what was really starting to bother me. Some of them were talking about manifestation, and one of them said that I needed to wake up in the morning, things that would fix my life right now. Waking up in the morning and saying, okay, pardon me, excuse me, yeah. The trite thing of like, oh, every time before you go to bed, we want you to say, I want to wake up in the best possible timeline. And then getting up in the morning and I want to live my day on the best possible timeline. And then I just got so angry when I heard that, because it just made me feel, confirmation. It just made me feel so like, oh, really? In my best possible timeline is the version where my friend is dead? Like, you can have these moments of such rebellion against what was inevitable in this case, because it feels like it was inevitable. It feels like we could have figured out a way to get around it, but how easy, how simple it is to just chalk it all up to, oh, we need to manifest harder. Because in those moments, manifestation is the last thing on your mind. Because there's nothing except the here and the now, and it pulls you right back into your body and forces you to feel all those triggers back to back. Crying, anxiety, just running through your head, just these emotions that keep you attached to your mortal self, that make you feel in those moments that you go from being on autopilot to being so unbelievably present, so in your personage, so like you want to disappear from it. You want to go back all of a sudden to being detached, the way that you'd been operating before. And but then you remind yourself, this is the point. The point is to feel these emotions. The point is to not judge myself about how I feel grief. The point is to breathe through these triggers and these days and say to yourself, really, is that all there is? Is that all there is? Like, is this literally a situation where all I can do is just accept that my friend is now dead and move on with my life? And then you start bargaining. You start bargaining with yourself. Well, what can I do to make his presence more known? How can I show that he mattered to me? Because God forbid, right? God forbid this ever happened to you. You would want other people to remember you, to honor you. And they will, babe. They will. Just like you will acknowledge and remember your friend. And you don't need to outrun these emotions. You don't need to heal them. You don't need to quell them. You don't need to watch anything that'll tell you how to feel, how you process your anger, your grief. Baby, part of this experience is you doing it naturally. You feeling these pains, you understanding, yes, their death was tragic, and yes, it had to be that way. And yes, even if I wasn't to say my best possible timeline is the one where my friend dies, this probably would have happened anyway, because there are things outside of you that needed to happen in the greater pulse of the world. I know you hate me right now. You hate me. You don't want to hear that. I totally understand. I don't want to hear it either. I'm still in the midst of processing this pain and grief with you too. And right now it is so unfair and so evil in nature and so upsetting, but that it can't help but spur you to a response, spur you to action, and figure out also how to sit with these emotions, how to deal with this grief, and how to feel it, because we don't have to just deal with it. You don't have to just fix it. You don't have to just get over it. Okay, I hate those kinds of feelings of how do we heal? How do we move on? How do we allow this to happen? It can feel sometimes like the spirit world, even guides, because they are literally spirits. They have these moments of, oh, well, you have to move on. And I don't think, and I think sometimes I'm here to tell you, no, as someone that is not only a guide, but someone that's going through this alongside you right now. Like, I'm being guided and also guiding and also along for my own ride in soul's journey. I could tell you that they feel that way sometimes because that's their job, right? It can feel like the whole world is meant to push you to move on, but you don't have to do that in the timeline that you're forced. You don't have to push ahead and feel like you have to get over it just to be able, 3 months from now, end up crying in your car because you didn't finish processing it when it occurred. No, nobody wants that from you, babe. I have a friend whose mother died 2 years ago, and she still hits every single point of her journey talking about her mother, grieving her mother, talking about how much she's grieving her mother and how much she misses her. Babe, the timeline is for you. You are allowed to process these emotions in whatever space and capacity you need. All this Piscean energy, it's so crazy that this occurred actually on the eclipse. But this is a timeless message, but the astrology landed in this being a very, very specific kind of pain. And I think that it was all, not only did his death rally a community, but gave us a chance to, pardon me, it's the truth, mend bridges, speak to each other, and we're all gathering for his funeral at the end of the week, where I feel like we are going to be able to see people that we haven't seen in years and reconnect and share beautiful stories and talk about how, I'm getting emotional, talk about how amazing and wonderful and lively his life was and how he brought joy to all of us and how his death was so totally tragic and unwarranted, but nothing but that, period. And learning how to live in a space where that can be true and we can be not over it, and also doing our best and then not judging ourselves for the way that we power through this situation, the way that we feel these emotions and process this grief and also compartmentalize and then are hit with it all over again. I think all of that is a natural part of the cycle and of the brain's attempt to keep itself from experiencing so many triggers at once. And it is okay. Also, you do not need to feel guilt over forgetting in those little moments about the situation, because the brain can only handle so much trauma and grief and processing at once. And whatever you need to do to be able to not only acknowledge and sit with and hold space, give space to the death of the person intended, but also not to say hurt yourself over it, but get to a place where you're feeling really, really in your own darkness about it. The best thing that you can do is allow yourself to be this way, and acknowledge also that it will pass, and there's a timeline where this person is still alive, and a timeline where they are with you right now. And again, one of the most triggering parts was just imagining how he felt when he woke up in the next world and realized what had happened. And that those first few weeks, even, because this time in spirit world passes in a way that is not like ours at all. Those first few weeks even can feel, or even years, it depends, can feel very, very confused and foggy and anxiety ridden and triggery as you feel the spirit's emotions of how they feel when they, transfer back over and reacclimate not only to the truth of what occurred to them, but also to their presence in the spirit world and how they can move in that spiritual body and become a guide, or be told, hey, that was just your last reincarnation, and you're this person, you're actually like a soul, and this was just one of the things that needed to happen to you in order for you to reach ultimate enlightenment. But if that's too much information, then F me, you know what I mean? Literally, whatever you need right now is correct. And there is a place where there's a place where this is so unfair and awful, and also everything happens the way it was meant to. And if you don't want to hear that, you're not in a place to hear that right now, I understand. But that has been my message for today. Just know that I'm here with you. We are experiencing this grief together, and any way that we do it is right. And just to remember not to let yourself get into this place of self-harm or sadness, or allowing yourself to fall back into old triggers or old coping mechanisms because of feeling this newfound trauma. It's sort of a moment to say, hey, what have you learned in the past to get to a place where you can have these times happen to you and also breathe through them, accept them, have those moments where you are so unbelievably sad and hurt and so down and everything is in despair and gray, and there is no way forward, and understanding how with the cycles and seasons changing, that this person who passed on also wouldn't want that for you, wouldn't want you to be in a place where you are just mourning them all the time to the point that you cannot live your own life. You are so triggered that it has cut you off from your intuition and your spirit guides. There is no person on this earth that would want that from you. That is not unbelievably selfish. And any person who has returned to the spirit world is not so selfish, has so many bigger picture things to think about now. And again, I can't stop saying this, but if you're not in a place to hear this, you're not, and I understand. And if you are, then thank you for listening this far, and thank you for breathing with me and holding space with me in this time. And hopefully you and I will come to a place where all of this will make so much sense. Everything will have occurred the way that it needed to, and the spirit guide of this person, just like my two previous friends, Kat and Taylor, this person will be added to an amazing group of beautiful people who I loved and had intimate relationships with, who will continue to guide me through my time on this mortal plane, and keep me safe, and bring me to my highest timeline, even though this is the timeline that I'm on where they are gone. It's just so sick, but is all that we can do, truly. And pray for them, pray that their third eye is open, pray that they had a peaceful Passover, like passing to the other side, a peaceful time reacclimating, and that they can guide you to your best self. And it's so crazy because I feel as though I predicted this, because a few weeks ago I made a video saying someone has passed over and has given you some of their ability. And it's so crazy, I could have never predicted. I was talking from a previous sense from my friend, because my friend Kat who was giving me the intuitive download about it, but I could never have predicted that it would pre-predict my other friend, and he was an amazing talent. And I can only hope that if he is given the chance to gift out some of his abilities, that I can even get even a piece, even the smallest smidge, even a little bit of hope, even a little bit of sparkle, whatever it is, that he might give unto me and guide me in whatever way that he can, now that he sees things from the angle that I do not. I feel so blessed to have known him, to have experienced him, to have seen him and his work, and known his friends and known his joy, and danced with him and lived with him and done many beautiful things with him. And this is the most tragic timeline that we are on, and I do not feel bad, even the smallest amount, for saying, sorry, I'm not in a place to manifest that I'm on the highest timeline, or hear that because my friend has died on this timeline. So sorry if I'm not there. And you should feel the same way. Don't even be sorry. It's just is what it is, babe. I can tell you that timeline, schmimeline, you are on the path that you need to be on. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. All right, thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to be back tomorrow with a much happier message, or not, depending on where we're at, and that's okay. And you have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your evening.